are you going to spend time reaching out to people? Yeah, okay, we're back to the first one. Let's move on for comfort zone.
That's all right.
You're going to have to phone someone that's not a Christian. Well, I don't know any people that aren't Christian. Shame on you.
Honest.
I do not recommend going to the directory and phoning number after number and saying, you're a Christian. If not, I want to meet you. That's not the best. You can meet people that aren't going to church, people that need encouragement, people that are hurting, people that you're going to be able to minister to. You can meet them everywhere. But you're going to have to set the time. You know, Wednesday night, that's our time to do outreach. Once a month, the third Wednesday of every month, we're going to have somebody over, we're going to go talk to somebody, we're going to go for coffee, we're going to do something. And if you're going to find excuses not to do it, you'll find 100 of them. If you're going to do it, you're going to see God start using you to do those things. Schedule it and do it. Luke chapter 18. Short message today. Luke chapter 18, verse 27. And Jesus said, the things which are impossible with men are possible with God. Dare to try the impossible. Your mind will play tricks on you, making you think you cannot do something simply because you have never done it before. Pastor Jerry taught a message a number of months ago. The only fences are in your mind. Your limitations are in your mind. You are stopping yourself from doing what you could do, from being everything that you could be. Your mind will play tricks on you. You're going to start thinking, well, I've never done that, so I can't do that. And that was another part of the reason I had such a hard time getting into the fact of getting this floor put down on my Sunday. I'd never done tile before. And then I started talking to people that had, and everybody I talked to says, oh, there's nothing to it. Go for it. I encourage you to go try it. So I did. Well, guess what? There is nothing to it. It's probably one of the simplest things you're ever going to do. Anybody that tells you different is a liar. There is nothing to it. As long as you start off straight and stay on the square. Tedious, yes. Hard, no. But now I know that from experience. Well, there's a lot of things that you're going to be able to do if you're just going to go out and try it. You're going to have to be willing to stay the course in the face of uncertainty, doubt, and often criticism from many different fronts. You're going to have to be willing to stay the course. This is what I have begun. Now we're going to go through. Okay, maybe it is going to be difficult. It was to try and figure out how to lay it, how to do this, how to do that. There's the difficulty part. You may have, but you're going to stay the course. You're going to go through. You're not stopping. You start doubting yourself. Oh, yeah, but what have I done? Just about finished the first quarter, and I'm like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? Oh, Ben, what did you do? Well, we come this far, we might as well go through now. I got 2 of these to go. I can give up, or I can push through. I choose to push through. And we got done. We got finished. So you're going to have to stay the course, in spite of the uncertainty, in spite of the doubt, in spite of the criticism. And there will usually be criticism when you want to start doing something. When you start saying, you know, this is my night, or this is the time where we do prison ministry, and you're going to have family members say, well, how come you never have time for us? You're going to have family gatherings planned exactly over the time that you have chosen to do what you felt God was leading you to do. You're going to have those things come up, and they're going to try and stop you. And the minute they stop you, they've proven you again to be a quitter. And the minute you start building that stronghold in your mind, you continue to build, and you come to, well, I can't. I remember a while ago I had a little boy that's supposed to eat some putting him out food. He didn't think he liked that food. I said, well, try it. No, I don't like it. Have you ever tried it? No. Then eat it. Once you've tried it, you can tell me whether you like it or not. Oh, guess what? This is good.
That's true.
So many times the things we are allowed to scare us, we've never even tried. We have no concept about it, but we've already convinced ourselves that we can't do it, that we don't like it. We've already convinced ourselves that we aren't able to rise to that challenge. And if you will ever give yourself the opportunity, you'll find that you can do it. Uncertainty, doubt, and criticism will come from many fronts. When Nehemiah was rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, all of a sudden Tobiah and Sanballat came up and they started taunting him. Oh, you feeble Jews, what do you think you're doing? You're building a wall, a fox will run on that wall and knock it down. What do you think you are? The uncertainty, the doubts, the fears, the criticism, it will come. But as Nehemiah continued building that wall, all of a sudden Sanballat and Tobiah said, hey, why don't you quit that job? We want to get together and talk now. Then also they start with gossip. Well, we heard. Nehemiah says, you heard no such thing. You're making that up. He refused to allow himself to be deterred, and in a very short while he had the walls of Jerusalem rebuilt, and they had lain in ruin for who knows how long already. Why? Somebody has to start. Somebody has to take the vision and step out. Somebody's going to have to do it. Move on it and try it. Courage is the ability to step out in faith. To launch out into the unknown, to face head-on the uncertainty that always comes with new ventures. You know, we've had people that have, for probably 20 years or so that I've known them, they've always had the idea that they're going to go out and invest. They still haven't. They've always had the idea of how they're going to get rich. And they haven't done it. They've never taken that step. They've never taken that move. They've never disciplined themselves. They've always turned around and walked in a different direction. I know one person we're talking to, oh yeah, he wanted to invest in real estate. He really felt God calling him to invest in real estate. We said, okay, well, God's calling you, then you have to find a house to invest in. Something. Oh no, well, God is calling me to invest in real estate. God is calling me to make money through real estate. God is calling me. Okay, well, have you invested in anything? Oh no. But I know. And he found some terrific deals. Some deals that made other people turn around and think, how is he getting these deals? And he just couldn't get himself to actually commit to them. 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, he can still be sitting there saying, well, I'm going to yet. Or he can have done it. Face head on the uncertainty that comes with every new venture. And there will always be uncertainty. Well, maybe you have felt that you need to go to somebody's door and start sharing the news. Maybe you've met a person who you know needs Jesus, but you're afraid to mention Jesus to them. Maybe you've heard about someone in the hospital that needs somebody to come and visit them. Well, you can be that person, even if you've never done that before. You can be the person that goes visits in the hospital. You can be the person that goes visits in prison. You can be the person that goes to the neighbors. You can be the person that shares Jesus. You can be the person that says, you know, I noticed that your children are out Sunday morning. Would you mind if we take them to Sunday school? You can be that person. Every one of us. But it's going to take somebody actually doing it. That's right. There's a lot of times where we have great visions. We have great dreams, we have great ideas. The time is going to have to come where we put action to those dreams. I have noticed as I read through the Bible how many times the story said about God brought great deliverance to the nation of Israel. And how many times the nation of Israel had to go out there, lift up their